Poland's going to be the last country in Europe, isn't it? It's going to be the last country in Europe because it will be the only country left after the scourge of the LGBT ideology, as in intersectionality, has ruined every family and aborted every baby. That's what's going to happen. Obviously, I'm being hyperbolic, so leftist idiots who's taking this out of context, yes, that was a joke. Kind of. But, anyway. A Polish campaign group on Wednesday said that around 30 communities, including villages and regional assemblies in the devout Catholic country, had in recent months declared themselves to be free of LGBT ideology. Now, you'll notice that they're not saying we have no gays in Poland. They're saying the ideology, which is good because, my God, is it a destructive ideology. In fact, the purpose of it is deconstruction. The very purpose of it is to break down any border or barrier, break down anything that could be considered to be a locus of oppression. That's the family, that's the nation state, that's, social norms, customs, traditions, anything that could be considered to be a barrier between someone doing something and doing one thing and doing another thing. That has to be destroyed because the LGBT ideology is, the grand purpose of it is ultimate freedom, which honestly, I believe that anything taken to its most extreme form is destructive, even the concept of freedom itself. But anyway, homosexuality is a frequent topic of public debate in the EU member, whose Conservative ruling party leader, I'm not even going to try and pronounce that, condemned gay rights as a threat in April. Well, obviously, I don't agree with him on that. I do think that gay people should not be criminalised for being gay, but I also don't believe that it should be some great, public campaign to promote homosexuality or, to make it as if being homosexual is as common as heterosexuality or something like that, which is the attempt to level all things, is the goal of intersectionality. And some things are just not, they're just not equal. That's just not the same. But there are currently around 30 local authorities that have adopted such anti-LGBT statements, said a campaign against homophobia spokesperson. Okay. That's the ideology, not the people, though. And if you can't separate the two, well, you might just be a fucking zealot. It's a direct response to an anti-discrimination declaration adopted by Warsaw City Hall in February to act in favour of the LGBT community. Why? Why can we not just leave them alone? Why can we not just say, well, okay, we're not going to criminalise you, but we're not going to do anything else to you? Because it's not really a community. It's people who like to have dicks in their asses or like to eat muff. That's not, that's not a political ideology. It shouldn't be. That's sexual preference. You don't know how these people fall politically, but you think, right, okay, what we can do is label them a community, as if they all agree, and they'll hang out with each other, you see. Don't you know? Gay people don't hang out with straight people, and straight people don't hang out with gay people. No, they're all in it together, especially the bisexuals and the trans. I'm sure they love each other. I'm sure they're completely, like that. There is no LGBT community. What you're saying, what that effectively is the same as ethno-nationalism for lesbians, gays, bisexual, and trans. That's what that is. That's saying if you are falling into these categories, if you're one of these types of people, then we have politicized you. We have claimed you as part of our political movement, and we're speaking for you whether you like it or not. That's exactly what the Nazis did with Germans. It was to say every German is something we care about. We are politicizing the individual German, whether he supports us or not. We're gonna look at them through that lens and consider the German community. Okay, I hate the term community in this regard. A community is a location. It's a locale. It's a physical space, or I guess in internet terms, an online space where people self-associate. They choose to go there, or they may have been born there, I suppose, but it's somewhere that they can freely leave if they want. But you can't just leave the LGBT community if you're gay, bisexual, trans, or lesbian, because you're not going to stop being those things. It doesn't matter where you are, they have control over you. They have an authority over you in their minds. Fuck the term community in this regard. Communities are local, they are specific, and they are built around something that's not who you put your dick into. But anyway, criticising the declaration, the right-wing governing Law and Justice Party has put LGBT rights at the centre of a political debate ahead of this autumn's general election. I really wish that they would address it in the terms that I'm addressing it, because as soon as you address it in this way, you realise just how morally wrong and corrupting it is to frame anything this way, and nobody addresses it, right? acting in response to what it termed an ideological war. True, fucking true statement. If you don't think it's an ideological war, you do not understand what's going on. Okay, that's the top and bottom of it. It is not about rights. It is about the politicization of a constituency that can't escape being a constituency for the people who are politicizing them. So this is an ideological war. There is no question of it. It's also self-conscious on the part of the radical leftists, the intersectionals. They are very conscious of the fact that this is a long march. This is an ideological war against the family, against the nation state, against the sort of homogenous cultures of nations, things like that. It's completely self-conscious. They know that they're doing this. It is an ideological war. The eastern town of Swidnik announced that in March that it was free of LGBT ideology. Good. I hope, God willing, one day we'll all be free of LGBT ideology. That doesn't mean, again, I stress, we will not have any gay people around, or trans people around, or anything like that. That's not what we're talking about. We're talking about the activists who politicize these people, whether they like it or not. In the southern city of Lublin recently, gave awards to officials who have opposed LGBT ideology. Fucking bravo! Rather than calling it LGBT ideology, Poland, please call it intersectionality. That's the term they use. Don't use the term cultural Marxism. Don't use the, LGBT ideology is fine, but it's a bit cumbersome. Just say intersectionality, because then they will know that you're aware of them. Just like they are, again, just like the fucking fascists. They're wide awake and they've got a will of their own. They'll know that you're wide awake and you're woke to their will. You know what they're doing and you're coming for it. That's what you need to do. Fuck intersectionality. It's poison. Absolute poison. But they have opposed LGBT... This is giving awards to local officials who have opposed LGBT ideology, which goes against the family, the nation, and the Polish state. Bravo! Poland, you wokest of woke countries. You'll be the last nation in all of Europe at this rate. Fucking good God. Bravo. Absolutely bravo. I love that they're calling it does go against the family, the nation, and the state. Absolutely. I mean, explicitly. They're like... They couldn't be more clear about it, could they? These kind of moves could go against the constitutional values that oppose discrimination. No, they won't. Could is nonsense. No ideology has a right to exist. No ideology has a right to anything. And if there are people who are like, this is absolute cancer that's going to destroy our country. We don't want cancer, actually. So fuck you. It could go against constitutional values that oppose discrimination. Why wouldn't it? Why? What's going to happen? Do you think gay people no longer have rights in Poland? I mean, maybe they don't. I'm actually not familiar with Polish constitution. But let's assume for a moment that Poland is a relatively modern state and doesn't actually push gay people into gas chambers. Why would that change just because they oppose your communist shit? I bet the Poles totally understand what they're looking at when they see intersectional activists. I bet they're like, Soviets, got it, get fucked. Last week, Polish bishops denounced Swedish furniture giant IKEA. Bravo! What a brilliant world we're in, where Polish bishops are denouncing IKEA for what they called LGBT indoctrination, probably true, after an employee was sacked for refusing to take down a homophobic comment he posted on the firm's internal website. Okay, well, I mean, that seems a little rough, but I don't know if that's LGBT indoctrination, but I mean, you could certainly make arguments, I'm sure. In June, the Constitutional Court ruled in favour of a printer who had refused to fulfil an order for an LGBT organisation. The court decision since sparked debate in legal circles whether all merchants now have the right to refuse to serve clients because of their religious convictions for any other reason. What about opposition to ideology? I mean, this is something that we do in the West all the time. Silicon Valley is busy rescinding service to people on the basis of the things that they believe all the time. Like, constantly. All of the white nationalists and Nazis have been, and a lot of the conservatives, have been purged off of Facebook just because of what they believe. So fuck off with this whole, like, oh God, they've refused to fill an order from an LGBT organisation. Why wouldn't they? They don't agree with the ideology they propose. They live by. Why can't we discriminate by the ideology? And if that's the case, I mean, we do it all the time here, so I don't see how we can't make the argument that they can't do it. You're just complaining because it's against you. That's what it is. You're fine with it when you're doing it to, like, everyone else, but when it's happening to you, oh, now it's a problem, isn't it? Now it's a fucking problem. Well, how about get fucked? You wanted this, so fucking suck it. When you get a country like Poland that's like, hang on a second, Poland's a good thing, the family's a good thing, and communism's shit.